Qualifying for Euro 2024 kicked off today. And oh, look at that. It's the finalists from 2020. Italy and England playing it out. This time it went in England's favour. Declan Rice opened the scoring. Harry Kane became England's new all-time top scorer with a second goal there for England. Retegui on his debut scoring for Italy, and there was a red card for Luke Shaw as well. Craig, what did you make of this game today?
Do you want a cliche?
Yes.
I know exactly what's coming.
It was the proverbial game of two halves. I thought England were very good in the first half, controlled it, and then lost composure as Italy got on the front foot. And Italy in the second half pressed higher up, won the ball back higher up, started passing it better, got better width in the game. And England struggled, and we had a ref who was a little bit card happy. It seemed that every time an England player tried to slow the throw-in down, even by a few seconds, he was booking him. It cost Luke Shaw in the end. I'm not saying it was wrong, but I'm saying it was sort of out of the ordinary, the referee, but he seemed to have made his mind up, and England should have dealt with that better. And in the end, they were hanging on. As I say, once Shaw gets sent off, but a really, really good result going away to Italy, where it has been proven very difficult to go there and win. And yeah, a great start for Gareth Southgate's men. But I don't think Mancini will be happy with the first half at all.
Gab Marcotti and Stuart Robson are with us as well. Stuart, what were your thoughts on what we saw from England?
Well, in the first half, England played very well, and the key player to it was Jude Bellingham, because he was playing on Jorginho, and he played much higher up the field. They had Phillips and Declan Rice as the holding players. And every time the ball broke, it looked as though Bellingham was going to run away from Jorginho, and then he was able to then pick out the wide players. He was able to pick out the centre forward. And Harry Kane, likewise, when the ball was played up to him, he got turned very easily. But it was made easy for England by the way Italy played in that first half. The midfield players weren't sure whether to press or whether to drop, and it gave England domination of that midfield area. And once you get domination of the midfield area, you're always going to be in control of the game. And that was the case in the first half. It all changed in the second half, mind you.
Gab, from the Italy perspective?
Well, I can tell you what Mancini said, and Mancini said, I agree with Craig Burley. Well, not quite, but he did say exactly what Craig said. I think in that first half, England could have maybe scored. If England had scored 4 or 5, it would not have been scandalous in the first half. Italy much better after the break, and there's obviously disparity in talent, 1 to 11, especially in certain areas between these two teams. But Italy can't afford to give away half a game. I think they have to play for 90 minutes the way they did in the second half if they're going to want to be able to compete against the bigger teams. And by the same token, I thought England too conservative in the second half. It wasn't just Italy playing better. It was kind of old Southgate. Ooh, let me see. Yeah, I get a point here. It's not so bad, but I don't want to, and then everything goes. He takes off Foden, and they give up trying to control the midfield, and they pay a price for it.
Harry Kane, England's all-time top scorer in the men's game right now. Where does he stand among strikers of years gone by for England?
Well, I think clearly his record suggests he's top of the tree, and I'm not sure you can argue too much with that. I mean, it just comes down to difference. Well, certainly in style, I look at Wayne Rooney second on that list. Wayne was more aggressive, a more aggressive type striker, but in terms of pure goals, you liken him to Lineker or Greaves. I mean, that record speaks for itself. I mean, Harry Kane certainly has been everything that England needed him to be.
Robbo?
Harry Kane's been brilliant, and he's got to be right up there. And it's not just the goals. Yes, that's what we're talking about, his record with the goals, but it's the way he plays as well, the way he's linking up the game, the way he's allowing other players to run beyond him. I thought he was key again tonight. Yes, he got the ball taken off him a few times in the second half. In the first half, his link-up play was excellent. He can see a pass, and he's scoring goals. And he's been an outstanding player for England and Tottenham over the last 8 years or so.
He's very clever at drawing fouls, particularly when you need to ease the pressure, as England did in the second half. As Robbo mentioned, we all know about his passing range, how he drops deep. There's very, very few, if any, current players do that. Benzema does it a little bit, probably more than Lewandowski if we're looking at the top strikers. But none of them have the passing range. Benzema's a good passer of the ball, but Kane is an exceptional passer of the ball long range. That's unusual for a guy who's prolific as a goal scorer. And so there is no getting away. This guy has been immense for England, for Tottenham. And it's one of the things that stirs the debate up about why and is he going to make this big move? As Tottenham sort of scuttle around and they look for potentially a new manager and, you know, what's going to lie ahead for them, the question remains for Harry Kane. But for Gareth Southgate, he knows exactly what he's getting. He's getting a playmaker, he's getting a winner, he's getting a goal scorer. And also, bearing in mind what happened to him against France with a penalty, he's got a player who's more than prepared to have the responsibility of his nation. Away in Italy, big penalty miss in the World Cup against France, steps up, buries it, gets him the 3 points. That's a leader.
Absolutely. Gab, I wonder what the talk is in London of his future as a player for club.
I think it's, you know, we're a little bit back to where we were 2 years ago. I think the main difference now, though, is that, you know, Harry Kane at this stage is going to want to wait to see what Spurs' next move is managerially. Obviously, highly unlikely that Conte sticks around. What sort of commitment does he have? What sort of market does he have in terms of how much, you know, Daniel Levy would expect for him? I do believe Kane feels very, very committed to Spurs, and you know, he doesn't talk much about it in public, and obviously he tried to engineer a move back then, but you know, I just wonder in the back of my mind if it's the kind of thing where he said, look, I tried to engineer the move two summers ago, it didn't work, I've committed here, you know, maybe I'll be a one-club man or a one-club hero, and I'll write history here, and in some ways it's going to be worth more than going somewhere else and winning silverware as a passenger on a much bigger budget team.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.